Okay, I wanted to touch on the basis as to why I've been telling people to avoid stuff such as a high fructose corn syrup. If you don't know what it does, it's a or what it is, it's a chemically induced compound of sweeteners, and its effects actually cause you to gain weight rather than lose it, right? And there's a lot of manufacturers using this. Now, I started researching RM and FM radiation, or not radiation, but signals, because it turns out these technology that they're using runs off of these things. So I found an article. Does the human body block or absorb RF energy? And I found something really interesting about this. Now, again, I don't claim any copyright on this. I don't claim this as my own. I don't claim any type of copyright anyway. This all belongs to their perspective people who have done the research for this and actually have gathered this information. So all credit goes to them. I'm only using this for educational purposes and nothing more. Okay, so question. The human body, by virtue its a water content, absorbs RF energy emitted by a body packed transmitter. Since then, a definite pattern among customers complaining of inexplicable wireless problems, which no apparent reason seem to confine to a particular user rather than a particular transmitter or receiver. These users almost always turn out to be, how shall I say, corpulent or applying a more brutal internal water. But anyway, that's not even it. This might not even be the article. Let me go back. Okay, here it is. This is the part I was looking for. You see, salt water, iodized sea salt, has a natural abundance to this to the stuff that they expose you to. Now, RF energy, you see, RF energy is related to the same type of radiation or energy that they're beaming you with. And it has similar things to FM radio signals. So, as you can see here, the more body fat a person has, the more RF is absorbed. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? High fructose corn syrup, a high-induced chemically modified substance that's used to heavily cause people to gain weight. RF energy, which is beamed down on targeted individuals who are going through EMF radiations. The fact that I find out that iodized sea salt has a natural abundance to detoxify this stuff and, kill it off, as well as both seaweed, which is both two different things related to the sea. If I had the money, I would buy a house literally right next to the seashore. I'm not even joking about that. If I had the cash, I would definitely do that, because you got a natural source right there, and by you having a house so close to it, its ionizations and its iodized chemical compounds are like all over the place. So they really wouldn't be able to do something like this to a person there. But this is the part of the article I was trying to show. Basically, this stuff latches onto you due to the fat that you build up from high fructose corn syrup. It's kind of like it was specifically designed for this purpose, and it doesn't come off as being sinister until you get the other piece of the puzzle. So when you got the other piece of the puzzle, then you actually see what it actually is. Now, here's another article as far as which can block FM signals and all AM stations by reflection. So let's take a look at what this is. They're talking about some type of box. Now, again, Any articles that I stream by on this do not belong to me. I do not claim any copyright. I do not claim anything. These are for educational purposes and nothing more. From what I realized, I understand that like whether you have a radio or FM radio or anything like that, they project signals, right? So there would have to naturally be something that can basically reflect these signals, and so they would bounce off. And if you're not aware what this stuff is, the stuff that they submit into your bloodstream and your body and all that stuff, it's a type of, I want to say like it's a type of virus that sends signal attaching nanites to the ear area. So it sends them there, and I ended up finding out a phone call to where this guy he was talking, saying that whenever he moved his ears around, like it would like dispel the signal, meaning like it would actually scramble. So I tested this out yesterday, and they were having trouble connecting to me the whole entire time. Like I couldn't even believe it. Like it was insane. It's not just that. You don't even need ice for your back, as far as the when they try to put that heaviness on you, as far as that I don't know what it is, something that they have on your back that does this, but it's mainly related to the nerves. It's mainly related to the nerves. So it's like it's something it's one of these things that are attached to your nerves that causes you to causes drowsiness or some type of fatigue. But when you actually start to like pinch yourself somewhere, that actually that sends a signal to your nerves. So it's basically reflecting the signal from whatever they're wanting it to go to somewhere else. And in doing this, it cancels what they're doing out. So since with this being all the case, it would have to, I think normally you could like invest in some silicone headphones, but at the same time, I think the best method would be to find something that can reflect the actual signals themselves. So it won't do them any good if the signals can't reach you. Speed of light, which is so. Just read this at your own expense. So basically, what I'm looking at here, this gives you a clear, indecisive way to actually reflect these things that they're sending to you. So if you can reflect them, it's fairly obvious that either it won't go to the person who is transmitting them, or it could get sent to a type of way to where it can't reach you at all, but it's at a fixed state. And if it's at a fixed state, I'm telling you, you're gonna be able to sleep, because I've tested a lot of this stuff and I realized that it can't go through water. It can't. I modified a bag to where I would be able to have it filled with water, and I slept with that. I had it on top of my head and I slept with that, and despite them trying to do this, I got 8 hours of sleep. Actually, no, I take that back. I got 9 hours of sleep just from doing it. So radiation can't go through water, and I know it can't. I've read that it can't go through concrete, but I wasn't able to really test that out yet. But for anybody having trouble as far as sleeping fatigue, that's one of my tricks that I use. Just get a bag, fill it like a regular bag. You can go ahead and like buy those small garbage bags or something, and you want to get the waterproof ones. You can just get that, fill that with water. Get like 2, fill it with water, and put it in a pillowcase so it'd be more comfortable. And then just have that there, but be mindful. Just be careful when you do this. Make sure your apartment and everything is secure. have it to where like if any of your doors open, you will be immediately like alerted, like noise would actually sound off, like if like they would have to push something out of the way from the other end with the door pushing it in order for it to alert you if you try this. So just be mindful of that. But yeah, I wanted to definitely give people that tip that I found out, and I'm definitely going to keep researching this as far as to find ways to fight, literally fight back against this, because this takes this literally, this technology can actually do great good in the world, but it's unfortunate that we got it in the hands of people who would do great harm into this world. It's a shame, but this world's never been fair, and that's just the point of it. It's not as much as being fair or being unfair, it's just a trial. I believe life itself is a trial that God puts us all through to see and find our way. And it's like it's God's way of giving us a fair chance on what we should decide what to do with our lives. But when you got something like this being used against a person, I think God can find it in his heart to forgive any targeted individual who has been submitted to this. I think he does find it in his heart, because I mean, in my case, I've been on this since I was a child. And I'm only going based off the symptoms that I've had, that I know for a fact that I've had back then, to all the way to now. So it's fair to say, with the stuff that's being exposed out here, people have been consuming high fructose corn syrup for years. People have been exposed to Magellan for years. And these are two different compounds that I've realized that we've all been exposed to. And the other sinister thing about this is the candida. If you don't know what it is, I suggest you research. Both Magellan and candida are both substances of they're both substances of fungus, and it seems as though both of them have the ability to grow and get into the bloodstream as well. So you got to ask yourself, when you have something like this exposed into your DNA like that, right? You put parasites, I call these things, they're nanites, but I call them like parasites or whatever. When you put that in there, that stuff, mind you, these things, some of these things have synthetic like compounds. So what I believe is they use the Magellan as a bridge for these nanites, for them to infiltrate your body structure. And that's exactly like how your body, your entire internal organs and everything is being compromised by this stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, it is not normal for a human being to walk around with radiations as high as 400 to 500 at all. They're non-iodized radiations, but that is not normal. There shouldn't even be radiations like that on a person, but you got to understand, this is something being beamed on them. This is something being beamed on all of us who are going through this. This is MM's TI Strategy Guide. The time is 7:52 a.m. and the date is on Monday, December 2nd. I'm gonna leave a warning out for all TIs. They're gonna be shutting down YouTube's channels, the smaller channels, around December 20th. So if you haven't found a new social platform yet, you need to do so now. Save all your videos, save all your evidence, all of that stuff, and make sure that you continue fighting the good fight. But don't let them get the better of you by you acting irrational, because they will literally prey upon that. I wish everybody the best, and I truly hope that this information helps a lot of targeted individuals. Don't forget, if you know any other targeted individuals, share this information with them. Share this information with them to help them out, so they can do the same for someone else. Because it's because of most of us being implemented onto this that we can't really do anything about it. But once this tips over, everything changes. Once again, this is MMTI Strategy Guide. I'm over and out.